So I did a Q&A. Everyone say hi, Patrick. Hi, Patrick. So we did a Q&A last year, or last month. Yeah, last year. And I said that I was, oh my God, over a month ago. Wow, I can't believe how fast time's flying. And Q? Jules Conroy, Family Jules Q. And it was a lot of fun, and I wanted to do a follow-up to it with some of the highest voted comments on this one, and just have something to keep up this series, because Q&As are pretty easy to do. It's a great opportunity to be able to talk to you and answer your questions. And I think now is a good time that, you know, Cadence of Hyrule DLC has been announced, so that there can, one, be more stuff to talk about or not. Let's bring it back here. I'm going to answer a few questions, and then I'll answer some questions from the chat. Arthur Martins asks, do you ever got a feeling when you're playing a game that the soundtrack is so good that you think, oh, I could cover this soundtrack, even if the game isn't popular or well-known? It's tough because I feel like early days, I was way more open to doing stuff like this. In recent years, I definitely feel like I've seen what I do directly impact, you know, my income, my reach, and how everything interacts with each other. I'm very interested in growing my platform and very interested in growing my income. I'm trying to buy a house right now. Yeah, I'm trying to buy the house with the doorbell, hopefully. Then you guys will have doorbell videos forever. Anyway, so, you know, I have done songs from like Rise of Nations that I knew wouldn't do that well because I know Rise of Nations isn't really a widely popular game. But I did it anyway because I think it is important for people who do music online and are creating content to have a balance, because if you go too far one way or the other, like you only do songs that aren't popular that you love, you know, it's going to be frustrating for you because you're not going to get the attention that you're looking for. But if you just constantly only do popular games, it definitely starts feeling like a job. The passion of it definitely starts kind of dwindling away. There is kind of a balance. You can either do that by trying to find a medium point between popular songs and songs that you like, by finding songs that you like that are from popular games, obviously, or just kind of employing kind of like, okay, I'm going to do like 3 covers, you know, 3 songs or whatever that are really popular, and then I'm just going to do one for myself, you know? And I think that both of those work really, really well. Favorite urban legend, whatever you always remember or stick out to you the most. My favorite urban legend. When I was a kid, I was really terrified of the whole like Bloody Mary thing. I was probably like 10 years old or whatever. Like somebody was just like, did you know if you say Bloody Mary in the mirror, then fucking Bloody Mary shows up and licks your butthole or whatever. I definitely remember I would like sneak into the bathroom and like whisper over the corner like, just like, and then like run into my room and be like, ah. Phantom Kitten asks, what project are you the most proud of? What project did you have the most fun making? And who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The project I'm most proud of has to be like, I feel like the Mario medley, the 20-minute Mario medley that brought together 70 artists was probably my most proud, just because of how much like work went into it, and then the payoff was so good. And it was also just, I think it's also the most fun project. You know, all I did was the rhythm guitar and bass for all of it. It was like a constant sense of reward of just being able to hear these absolutely talented artists, like, you know, like one song at a time. You know, I've edited this one, you know, like put in Johnny Atma, who, you know, Gay Metal, if you guys haven't heard of Johnny, he's absolutely incredible. Popped him in the beginning, and then it went right to Amy Waters, and then went right to AH Music, and it was just so fast. It was just like, I don't know, it was just like, I just felt like cracked out on all this talent, you know? When I'm working on songs that are just me all the time, I get very sick of my own face, so that was probably why it was the most fun. And I know what evil lurks in the hearts of men, and also their butts. Ryan Salmon asks, question for the next Q&A, do you have any advice for someone who's new to recording music? I've played music for a majority of my life, but never had much experience in recording and mixing and that side of music production. What happens, and what happened to me, is you find pretty quickly that recording, mixing, and mastering is almost no different from an instrument just in itself. You almost feel like you're starting from square one, you know, learning chords again. That's the equivalent to learning EQ for the first time. And then, you know, these are all different things that you learn over a long period of time. You just have to kind of be bad at it for a while. I don't think there is many things that you're going to be able to carry over from learning an instrument to producing the recording of that instrument. Obviously, you'll have knowledge of, you know, fundamental frequencies, some ideas on how to make things cut in a mix. It's going to be pretty much square one. There's a lot of great resources though. Some of my favorite, I really love recordingrevolution.com's YouTube channel. URM Academy is great for metal specifically. And I mean, it's endless. I did a recording guide series about 9 years ago. I wouldn't recommend that now at this point because it's very outdated. I would suggest getting started on it now so you suck the worst now and get better sooner. Silver, thank you so much for the 200 bits. Really appreciate that.
Why do you know what a Switch cartridge tastes tastes like. You mentioned that Switch cartridges tastes like earwax, but why are you eating Switch cartridges?
Why does anybody do anything silver? Yes, I ate my Switch cartridge. Why do you think I was so close to my ass that one time? I was trying to get it back. What game did I eat? That's for me to know and you to get seconds on. When you're doing a guitar cover on average, how many days do you practice it before you start recording the track? How long does recording take? And how long did it take to perfect Trial by Thunder? I am horrible about this. And I've actually seen that a lot of other artists have the same problem where I don't practice nearly enough as I should before a take. It depends on the track. So something like Trial by Thunder, I definitely practice beforehand. Like pretty much the day that I begun work on the production of that cover, or the video at least. No, actually, yeah, the original cover for the soundtrack. I had already learned all the notes, and part of my warm-up routine was pulling out a metronome and playing it slowly. I like to play things 3 to 5 times without making a mistake before I like to move on. I go up 5 pretty much every time, and that usually works for me. But for most guitar covers, I pretty much once I can play it good once, I start hitting the record button to see if I can get it again. Which I don't recommend, but I mean, I guess it works. It's just I feel like my recording process takes a long time, and I feel like it would take way less time if I practiced more. I definitely have a thing where the more I practice, the more anxious I get about the take, if that makes sense. So I feel like by trying to jump in and get that first emotion take, that was almost... I do it with speedrunning too. I'll be sitting there and I'll get a trick wrong 20 times, and I'll get it once and I'm like, all right, it's run ready. We're good. I'm not worried about it anymore. Excalibur Sonic says favorite game of all time, not including Cadence of Hyrule, the game you worked on.
Sim.
Thank you so much for plugging Cadence of Hyrule and specifically mentioned that I worked on it because yes, I did work on Cadence of Hyrule. How many times in your life do you get to work on a Zelda game? Let me
enjoy it.
My favorite game of all time is Jet Force Gemini. I love that game to death. It was one of the most satisfying games I've ever played. Tied only with, Mario 64, probably Banjo-Kazooie. As far as recent games, I'm a huge fan of, I would say Nier Automata and Dark Souls, and Death Stranding were I would say some of my favorite gaming experiences. Angelic asks, did you help / give advice to Alpharad with the music he's putting out? A little bit. Alpharad and I have a really cool friendship because he helps me a lot with YouTube stuff, and he's really to thank for why Jules Conroy kind of picked up. He really kind of pushed me to start making those moves, to start making consistent content on the second channel. And honestly, it's been one of the best decisions I've made in a long time. The give and take there is I'm able to help Alpharad with some of the things that I've learned about in music school. Specifically, the only thing that I can remember teaching him is the concept of chordal function. So if you have a key, you have 7 chords in that key that work. So if you're in the key of C, that's the C major chord, the D minor chord, the E minor chord, and et cetera, et cetera. Each of those chords have a function, and you can reharmonize a song easily by switching 2 chords that have the same function. And what that also does is it helps you be able to extend a song a little bit longer. That's something I kind of told him about when I was visiting him last. Do you like JRPGs? I know you've played Pokemon and Persona, but would you consider yourself a fan of the genre? No. I don't really like JRPGs. I don't really like turn-based combat. It definitely gets fatiguing to me for a while. And there's very few situations in which I think that the combat has something to offer that really makes it interesting. Example of a turn-based JRPG that really surprised me and kept me interested was Octopath Traveler. I really liked the break and boost system. It didn't add too much to make the combat too complicated, but it added just enough to kind of create a little bit more dynamic to the battles. Yeah, Undertale 2 was a really good example of, it added the bullet hell aspect of it. The combat system of Undertale was not my favorite part of it, but it definitely surprised me. I would say that. But as far as stories, it takes a lot for me to care about JRPG stories, and there's definitely been situations in which I like them. But I do find action RPGs much more enjoyable, like Dark Souls and stuff like that. But not always. I actually didn't really enjoy Xenoblade Chronicles that much. I love the music. I love the music to Xenoblade Chronicles, but I had a hard time with the menuing involved with that stuff. And even Pokemon is really hard for me. I get really fatigued by Pokemon battles. Daz Bones asks, is the name Jules Conrad related to Chugga Conroy in any way? Let's cancel Chugga Conroy. Here we go. Chugga Conroy got his name by a random name generator. Conroy is my actual last name. Jules Conroy is my actual legal name. If we're being fair, I have more right to have Conroy. Okay, yeah, when will you learn? Do you ever struggle with finding motivation to practice music? I've been having that problem for a very long time now, and I don't know how to get out of it. I'll end with this one because this is a really interesting psychological concept that I've been researching. There was a video recently that I watched all about willpower. And how do you manage your willpower? How do you manage your ability to to stop eating butter. I know it's a thing for a lot of people. I think a lot of people have trouble practicing. Here's my advice, and I'll explain why. Stop making yourself guilty for not practicing. What you're doing is you are using up brain energy by guilting yourself into practicing. Here's an example. Say you're sitting down at the computer, you're watching Twitch, you're watching Jules Conroy talk about Blumpkins for the 50 millionth time. You have your guitar over there. It's sitting right there. What happens is you turn to the guitar and you realize that is a way more practical use of my time. But that's all the way over there. I don't want to have to go over there. I don't want to have to pick it up. Like right now, I'm engaged in this thing that I am doing. Does this sound familiar? I'll spend 30 minutes watching this, and then I'll play guitar for like 10 minutes, and then I'll put the guitar away, and then I'll come back to this thing. All of that energy that you just expended was energy that you could have used on the guitar, and it wasn't free. You have just tired yourself out uselessly. It sucks because you want to figure this stuff out, but we have so many options, you know, we have so much freedom now to be able to just like choose what we do all the time, you know, that when we have the choice to do something like that, we'll sit there and try to like negotiate with ourselves. And negotiating takes brain power, it takes effort, it takes energy, and that's all energy that by the time you finally pick up the guitar, you're tired. So now you're creating an association with playing the guitar that you're tired. So now you don't want to play guitar. It's so tough. It's so tough to be able to just tell yourself, I'm not going to give myself the option. I'm going to pick up the guitar. Or put the guitar somewhere else. It doesn't seem like, it seems like it would be a better idea to have the guitar there so you remember to play it, right? No. Put the guitar totally somewhere else, in another room that you might pass by it and decide when, oh, I should do the dishes right now. But the guitar seems like it's more fun. Literally, I know it sounds like really irresponsible to think like that, but I honestly think that some of my best practice that I've done in my life has been when I really, really needed to do something completely different in this day, in this society, whatever. I definitely think that you can use that mentality to your advantage. I know you guys know this, where you think I should do something, and then literally everything other than that thing that you should do is suddenly way more appeasing. Like the second you have decided that that is the thing that I should do right now, it's like, guitar sounds great. If you can kind of, for your own life, figure out how to adapt that, I think you'll practice a lot more and you'll also enjoy it more. I want you to get to the point where you're enjoying practice more. Anyway, quick few questions from Twitch. Most epic moment you had playing a video game? Artorias fight in Dark Souls 1. If you were given 72 hours of no responsibilities and access to any sort of instrument you want, what kind of music do you think you would end up making? Honestly, I'd probably sleep through those whole 72 hours. What's my favorite note? A good one. Favorite kind of pie? Cream pie. Have you played or heard any of the OST of Astral Chain? Yes, I really like the music to Astral Chain. I got kind of bored with Astral Chain after a few hours. It's a great game, it's just not my cup of tea. What would it take for you to speedrun Quest 64? Enough boredom. What's your favorite guitar to play? Depends on the song. For electric guitar leads, I really like the Majesty. For rhythms, I really like the multi-scale. For classical guitar, I like my classical guitar. What's your fan base name? It's Shut up. With your previous statement, I assume you mean don't guilt trip yourself and not don't schedule yourself. Well, don't over schedule yourself. Don't guilt trip yourself. Like, you can schedule yourself, but after you've scheduled yourself and failed 2 times, stop it. It's not working. Figure something else out. How fast can you breathe? Average fast. Can you recommend us a game? Yeah, Hungry Pumpkin. What is an instrument that you always want to learn how to play? Trombone. I want to get really good at trombone because I don't know any horn instruments, and that'd be really fun to do. Do you still have your Explorer? Yes, I do. Yeah. Welcome to the Shut Ups. Favorite banjo character? Probably, there's somebody. What are some of your favorite YouTubers? Everybody but Alpharad. What favorite Smash character? I like Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff is what I usually name. Favorite Pokemon? My favorite Pokemon is either Geodude or Eevee. How do you practice keeping an internal clock? That's the last one I'll hit. There's a really great Victor Wooten practice, and I use this for a lot of my students for keeping internal clock. Internal clock, if you guys don't know, is just the ability to kind of keep a rhythm without the need of having the rhythm given to you. So it's kind of the ability to kind of keep a groove and keep it consistently without having to hear a metronome or a drum. You can do this yourself if you have any kind of recording software with a MIDI drum. Write a 16 measure drum beat, very easy, with drum fills and everything. Now copy and paste that 16 measure and take out the last note and put that after the first one. Copy, paste, do it again. Take out the last two beats, I should say. Copy, paste again, take out the last 4 beats. Take out 8, 16, 32. So now what's gonna happen is you're gonna wanna improvise over this or play a song that you know against this rhythm. and you're gonna keep playing it over and over and over again. And your goal is what's gonna happen is you're gonna go have like this boom, 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 and you want to come in right on that beat, as close to that beat as possible without any help, except the beginning of it. And then you just come down to one beat, and you want to keep playing to that one beat and be able to keep the rhythm with 16 measures of silence. It's really fun. That's a Victor Wooten strat, so highly recommend that. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. I want to do more of these in the future, so definitely follow Jules Conroy on YouTube and check out the Twitch page. And also, I do have a Patreon now for those of you guys who might have wanted to support me before, but didn't because, you know, you don't want to pledge for every single video I put out on my other channel. I now have a Patreon that allows you to pledge once per month. Patreon.com/Jules Conroy. So these pledges are scary. You're gonna get jump scared when you go to this website, but don't let that put your wallet away. This is just per month. So if you just want to support me in a way that's per month and support the videos that I put on Jules Conroy, because I do hire out editors for Jules Conroy, definitely please consider helping me, because I pay them a lot of money because they're worth it. They're really, really worth it. The edits are some of the best gaming speedrun highlights ever on YouTube. I hope you guys support me if you want. You know, you don't have to. Don't feel the videos are going to go away. It really makes it easier for me, and if I can get enough support, I can release more videos. Right now, it is kind of tough with everything going on to be able to even keep up the 3 video a week schedule, which I think that's already insane, but I'm really pushing. I really want Jules Conrad to be an awesome platform to be able to share these kind of videos with you guys. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Until next time, Twitch Prime.